Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to read out a story to you. It was written by me and it got published in my second book. The title of the story is The Maneater. It's a true story. It was somewhere in the year 1968 when Jaipur was not properly developed. The beautiful main city was surrounded by dense forest cover, especially near Sariska, leading towards the hilly area nearby. There was a small village at the edge of this cordoned area. This village was nested along a forest and looked picturesque under the sunshine. It was in the month of April, late afternoon, that Narayan, a villager whose farm sat at its edge, was working on his farm and then thought of collecting firewoods from the nearby forest. He collected the log and held it and sat under a tree. He lighted the cigarette and started smoking. He liked to make rings of smoke and he was busy. And then a hint of flash at the corner of his eye, fleeting sense of danger. He was still busy in smoking and had not looked up. Why the serenity of an approaching dust would stifles any premonitory glimmer. But as Narayan looked up, he saw a full-grown tiger walking towards him. He thankfully turned around and frantically ran backward. In his pell-mell fight, he banged into a eucalyptus tree, the collision leaving a deep mark on his right cheek. He ran fast for his survival and was able to climb a tree. He shouted for help. Narayan escaped death, as few farmers working in the nearby farms came to his help and he survived. Narayan could not sleep for a week or so. He used to get nightmares. The villagers suspected it's the same tiger who had killed the village dog and a goat 2 months back. And then came the news that a 60-year-old woman named Soma got mauled to death by some wild beast. Then one young boy was taken away during his sleep by some wild beast. Due to darkness, no one could make out that it was a tiger. After this incident, villagers became alert and kept eye everywhere while working in the field. Everyone started taking precautions. They complained to the forest department, but no one was able to catch him. The tiger also sensed danger. It used to stroll after dusk. A well-known hunter was also hired, but nothing could be done. Now, the news of killing small children playing near the waterhole by the tigers started coming from the nearby villages. The panic was so much that old people, children, and women were afraid of going out even during the day. One day, the forest department noticed the pug marks near the waterhole. They arranged to either kill him or catch him. The hunter was called. Everything was planned. A goat was tied to a tree as bait. It was around midnight. The hunter and the other staff heard the growling noise of a tiger approaching the goat. The goat was tied around the tree in a cage that if the tiger goes nearby, he would be caged. The tiger could sense the danger and did not go near the cage and moved towards the opposite direction and vanished in the darkness. No success was got that night. So again, the same planning was executed. This time, the tiger approached the goat around 1:30 at night. As it tried to go near, a shot flew at him and he jumped high and ran towards the dense area. The hunters team started following the bloodstains and at last they found the tiger lying on the ground, struggling for life. He was hit at the chest. The hunter shot another bullet at him to be sure of his kill. Then his body was brought out from the forest to the village. Everyone took a sigh of relief. The villagers celebrated and thanked the hunter and his team. Then for 3 to 4 months nothing happened. The villagers thought they were safe now as they got rid of the man-eater. In the village, there was a big haveli owned by a Bengali family. They had a joint family. They owned a very big property in the village. They were leading a comfortable life. The villagers respected them as they were the rich landlords of the village. Some of them even worked at their home. During those days in August, a young boy of 16 years named Pratap Mukherjee had gone from Delhi to that village to spend his holidays with his maternal uncle and grandparents. He loved to spend his time there amidst forest and doing fishing in the small lake with his maternal uncle. His favorite uncle was Bibhu, who was 26-year-old, thin, having wide eyes, a sharp nose, and was a good swimmer. He had developed the habit of drinking and doing fishing. On one evening, Pratap and Bibhu went towards the so-called small lake after the rain had stopped. The cool breeze was blowing. Both of them had taken some snacks to eat while doing fishing. They were busy talking to each other and enjoying the snacks. Bibhu was drinking and chatting. The high elephant grass had covered the edges across the lake. They were busy and could not realize that it started getting dark. Suddenly, Pratap noticed two green bulb-like things across the lake under the high grass. He told his uncle about it and asked him to get up. He could sense danger, but uncle wanted to stay more to enjoy the cool breeze. After a few seconds, Pratap again noticed that there was some commotion on the other side. Both realized that it was none other than a tiger looking at them. They both got up and hurriedly jumped into the water for their escape. As they knew that big cats usually avoid killing its prey in the water. As the tiger also came in the lake, Pratap and Bibhu had no option left than to swim further upwards near the hill area. Now they were far from their house and no help was available except reaching the high hills where an old hermit has his hutment. While swimming, one thorny bush got entangled around one of the feet of Pratap. It made it difficult for him to swim fast. Bibhu broke the branch and held his arm and swam fast. At last, they reached near the high mount. They found the tiger was far behind. They managed to reach the hermitage. He was an old man in his 70s. It was rumored that he was such a holy soul that in his hermitage, a tiger and goat sat together and not harmed anyone. It was 10 o'clock then. The old man with a grey beard called them inside a room and started talking to them. After listening to the whole story, he brought some herbs paste and tied it on the feet of Pratap. He warned them not to go back at that hour. He said that at night the tigers come there and on seeing both of them, they might harm them. Though it would not happen in his presence, he wanted them to take precautions. He further added that forest department patrolling police come around 12:30 at midnight. Both of them could go back along with them. Both agreed. Then the old man offered them some fruits and warm milk to drink. At night, the patrolling police approached the hut and asked the old man if everything was all right. He then opened the door and requested the police to drop Pratap and Bibhu back home. They agreed and were dropped back. On their way, the policeman told both of them that the Maneater was still alive and one of his siblings got killed by the hunters. But they did not tell the villagers as it would create panic. Rather, they patrolled at night to keep the Maneater at bay. That night, Pratap could never ever forget. I hope you like the story, and if you like, please like, comment and share. Thank you.